Women will always perceive a man as weak and unattractive if he lacks what is known as a strong masculine frame. In fact, when I was younger, I remember getting metaphorically slapped around by other people who had a stronger frame than I did. When you lack a strong masculine frame, you are like a leaf in the wind and you are completely at the mercy of the whims and the opinions of others, which are oftentimes to your detriment, aka they take advantage of you, they bully you, they harm you in some way. It is not good when other people can slap you around with a stronger frame. Now, you may have heard this term before, having a strong frame, frame control, what I just called a strong masculine frame, kind of all interchangeable terms. But when you heard about this, you probably heard about it in some wishy-washy way that gave a lot of theory and vague explanation without clear definitions, and then most importantly, actionable step-by-step advice to achieve said masculine frame, strong masculine frame. In typical Casey Redbeard fashion, I'm going to break down exactly what frame control is, why it matters, how it dictates social interactions, especially social interactions with women, how to build a strong masculine frame, and the danger of a frame that is actually too rigid, too strong, and uncalibrated. In fact, the only thing that's more cringe than a weak man with a weak sense of identity, with a weak purpose, a weak reality, and a weak frame is one that's overly strong and too rigid. That's the only thing cringier. This is going to be a Social Intelligence 101 masterclass. Buckle your seatbelts in and let's go.
Hey guys, back to the video in just a few seconds, but first, I had to share these amazing results that I've been having on dating apps using 100% fake AI generated photos. Every single girl that you're seeing on screen right now, I matched with on Bumble using, yes, fake AI photos. And here are the photos on the screen right now that I used. And before you rush to the comments and want to say something dumb like, oh, I could kind of tell that they were fake. I know that you can't tell that they're fake because I'm lying to you. I'm showing you a mixture of both real photos and AI photos, and I bet you can't tell the difference of which is which. And I've done well on the dating apps even before with real photos, but ever since I put AI photos on there into the mix, the results have been absolutely insane, as you were seeing. And not only can I now be super lazy, I don't have to do photo shoots anymore in real life, but I can now get access to backdrops I never could before, such as being on a private jet or some insane looking baller Airbnb. And no, I know what you're thinking. Both the dating app platforms and Instagram cannot tell that these are AI and they will not get you banned. So if you want some of these for yourself, just check out the link in the video description. It's also in the first pinned comment. It's the same link, and we will get back to the regular video now.
So understanding frame control. So what is frame control? Again, you may have heard this term. I'm going to break it down super simply for you. Frame control refers to the ability to set and maintain the underlying narrative or perspective in a social interaction. The person who controls the frame determines the meaning of events, behaviors, and interactions. Okay, so that was a lot of mumbo jumbo. Let's actually give some, examples, some tangible examples. So some people may hold the belief that politically incorrect or dark humor is funny. Others may be hypersensitive to it. Or another one is some people may think that it is weird and creepy to put so much effort into your social media, even going so far as to stage a fake speech in a seminar room that you orchestrated with your friends, and they may think that that is cringe. You may think it is a necessary evil to appear high status on social media, which is your new ultimate business card and networking tool. You can see probably which side of the spectrum I fall on. The person with the stronger frame wins. This is why I said earlier I used to metaphorically just get bulldozed and slapped around. I didn't have any experience in life yet when I was much younger. If someone would tell me, oh no, it's like this. This behavior is creepy. The way you laugh is weird. The way you smile is weird. The way you do such and such is weird. The way that you think that supercars and expensive watches, you're kind of getting pimped by the system. Like that's weird. I just, oh, okay, like whatever you say. I was getting, slapped around a lot. In social dynamics, holding a frame means influencing others to perceive situations, framing yourself as high status, attractive, and unbothered if people challenge you. Okay, so another example of this is some people think that it is creepy and weird to study this stuff, to go down the PUA, pickup artist rabbit hole, the red pill rabbit hole, to run around your city and approach women, complete strangers, women you don't know, in coffee shops, grocery stores, the mall, wherever you see them. And your frame might dictate the exact opposite of that. That not only does approaching a hot girl not make you cringy and not make you a loser, but it's actually the reverse. And whoever has the stronger frame, the stronger sense of reality wins. Now we're going to talk about why frame control matters. Some of this is obvious. We've already touched on it, so I'll breeze through this. And again, stick around because we're going to give actionable advice at the end of the video of like, this is all great theory. It's great to know this stuff, and having this awareness already can put you on the way to mastering frame control or having a strong masculine frame. We're going to go a couple more, we're building up to it, but I'm going to give the step-by-step actionable advice towards the end of the video, so stay tuned. So in status and attraction, okay? A strong frame projects confidence, which is inherently attractive. People are drawn to those who appear secure in their identity and beliefs, regardless of external challenges. Girls will see you as weak and unattractive if they can sense that their frame, that their sense of reality is stronger than yours, and they can dictate and run the show on you. Instant attraction kill. You must always have a stronger frame than the girl, at least 90 to 95% of the time. And I'm going to, there are nuances to this, okay? We're going to get into this because there's nothing more cringy than a guy with a frame that is quote unquote too strong or too rigid. Women, especially feminine women, tend to adopt the frame of the man they are dating. So if the guy is into dark humor and she was previously kind of like, oh, it's a little offensive, but she's dating a guy who really does like dark humor, now she likes it. If she's dating a guy and he's leaning more conservative politically, she's now thinking more like a conservative. If he thinks that drinking is stupid, then she's going to give up drinking and clubbing and stuff like that, right? Feminine women fall into the frame of the man that they are with, that they are dating. Leading is ultimately one of the most attractive qualities that a man can have. And actually, this is why so many men are perceived as weak, is because they can't lead the interaction. When it's time to do a venue change, to leave the restaurant, ask for the check, when it's, it's getting a little boring and it's time to leave, he can't lead. When it's time to physically escalate, take her back to his apartment, go in for a kiss, he can't lead. When you're on a boring conversational thread, the conversation turned too logically and you're talking about the 1988 Dodgers season where they won the World Series and Orel Hershiser was the pit. Like, if you're getting on some logical interaction about the LA Dodgers, you need to cut that shit, lead the interaction to something more conducive towards sex. Talk about you, her, or the two of you together, and get off talking about random bullshit. Get to know each other. Okay, so when the leading. Okay, super attractive, super sexy. If you don't have a strong frame and you can't lead, game over with the women. Losing frames, such as excessively apologizing or reacting emotionally to small provocations, diminishes your perceived status, making others perceive you as insecure and low value, okay? That is how you completely blow yourself out with a woman, is you get too emotionally reactive to her little shit test. And we're going to talk about more of the shit test in a second. People subconsciously align with dominant frames. If you consistently present yourself as a high status individual, others will fall into that frame as well, unless their frame is stronger than yours. So if a guy says, hey, Casey, I know you teach, social media. I know that you go through these insane great lengths, even faking it, orchestrating this amazing social media where you and your friends and your clients rent out a seminar room, give a fake speech. You'll go to a super nice restaurant. You'll have two beautiful girls there, and you'll have, okay, everybody freeze. Don't eat your food. You got to get 30 different photos. You have two people holding two different LED light panels to make sure the lighting is perfect. The food is starting to get cold by the time you eat it, but you got your perfect social media shot of you at one of the top restaurants in your city with these beautiful girls. Everybody's dressed well. Everybody looks good. The photo was even touched up, color graded, and even maybe some filters. Maybe you enhanced your jawline a little bit. I think that shit is creepy and cringe. You should just be normal, bro. Just chat people up, dog. You don't need to fake all this, fake it till you make it on social media. Just be more natural, bro. That may be somebody's frame. And if somebody were to challenge me on that frame, I could say, cool, you stay living in 1997, I don't know, whatever the days were before social media, and I'm gonna be cringe. I'm gonna do all these quote unquote cringy, creepy things, orchestrate, these perfectly like elaborate setup photos that were, faked. And this is gonna lead to me inserting my penis into a lot of women, okay? I'm going to penetrate women with my penis, get into relationships, love, sex, girlfriends, amazing adventures, because I put so much time on my social media. You think it's creepy, bro, and whatever. Whoever has a stronger sense of reality, the stronger frame, wins, okay? So the role of frame in social interactions, we've talked a lot of this about this a lot. Whoever controls the frame controls the conversation. For example, framing a playful insult as a joke signals confidence, while getting defensive, overly defensive especially, to the other person allows them to dictate the narrative, okay? The underlying context of the conversation, whoever has the frame control. So someone says to me, damn, man, like, you're so white. I'd say, yeah, I know, girls love it. That's it. You don't have to like and again, you don't have to be like, frame control and passing shit tests isn't necessarily about being super witty. If you're witty, that's great. You don't want to like stop being witty. But if someone says, damn, man, you're holy shit, bro, see you in person, like, you're really white, be like, yeah, I am. Like, and again, like, just the only way is like, well, I mean, I can't help it. I was born this way. And like that's how you fail these things, right? Women will often test a man's frame through jokes, challenges, or subtle provocations referred to as shit tests. A solid frame ensures that these tests don't derail the interaction. Now, this is a lot more common with American women. When you go overseas and you're dating Asian women, Latina women, Eastern European women, they're not as persnickety, that is a real word, they're not as persnickety and snide and outright rude as American girls are, but on some level, on some basis, the woman will always be testing your frame. So example of these frame challenges might be, a woman playfully says, are you always this cocky, okay? If the response is playful and self-assured, it reinforces the original frame. So she says, are you always this cocky? You can be like, yeah, I guess I am. Part of my charm. That's it. Are you always this cocky? Yeah, I guess I am. Some might say it's part of my charm, right? And again, and it's not like, like just chill. Just chill. Just don't overreact to it, right? Now, she says, are you always this cocky? And you go, oh no, I didn't mean it that way. Like that came out wrong, right? Backpedaling, in most cases, again, we're going to get into some examples about how having too strong of a frame is the most cringe thing ever. But in most cases, that backpedaling and taking it back in that overly apologetic frame signals insecurity, and that's what it's called a frame loss. When you drop the frame, when you dictate a certain underlying way that the interaction should be, beliefs, or a way that people should treat you. If your frame is that people react to me and treat me with respect, I have these boundaries, and you let someone cross those boundaries and you don't check them, that is called a frame loss, okay? And that is bad. You can recover from those to a certain extent, but you want to avoid frame losses whenever possible. Now, in interactions with men, frame control establishes dominance. And again, I don't want to like alpha male, who's the beta, who's the alpha. I don't want you to get like hung up on this. This is just, what I have written here, okay? This is what's called, in PUA, like, the AMOG or the alpha male of the group. Somebody challenges you with a joke or dismissive behavior or outright an attempt to bully you. Maintaining composure ensures social status. Maintaining your composure ensures that your social status will remain intact. Your frame that you are portraying to the world, that you're a certain type of guy that gets treated a certain way, will remain intact if you keep your frame. So a guy says, here's an example, right? I was at a nightclub in Vegas. This is 2013, 14. One of my favorite nightclubs in the world, XS at the Wynn Hotel, outdoor, summertime, beautiful times. Social media was not big then. People actually knew how to socialize. It was a beautiful time. I'm hitting on this girl. She was from Italy. She was actually some foreign exchange student. Beautiful girl. English was so-so, but we were communicating with the eyes. We had, maybe the words weren't perfect, but the vibe is what we were communicating, right? And then some little orbiter beta chode guy that she was with, maybe, part of her little foreign exchange program. I don't even know the story. I'm in the middle of talking to her. I actually interrupted their conversation, started talking to her, completely boxed out this other chode. And in the middle, he kind of interrupts to kind of like, come back in the conversation. And because like, I said something, oh, nice to meet you, something like that. Or I don't know. I somehow signaled that I hadn't previously, met her. And he goes, wait. You've been talking to her this whole time. Wait, you don't even know her? You're just some random guy? What the fuck? You don't even know her? And then like trying to kind of like dismiss me. He was trying to have a frame battle with me. He was trying to put me into the frame that walking up to strangers is weird and creepy, and I should not be talking to this girl if I don't know her. And I just look at him like, bro, the fuck? That's the idea. It's a club. You're supposed to meet new people. Quite frankly, if you don't meet new people at a nightclub, I feel sorry for you, right? So he tried to tool me. He tried to have a little frame battle. My frame that it's okay, that's the purpose of a nightclub, is to meet new people, was stronger than his frame that it is creepy to meet new people. I won. My status in that social interaction was preserved. And what do you think that did to my attraction with the girl? Through the roof, right? Now we're getting to the actionable stuff. Okay, that was a lot of theory. And again, even just being aware of the theory, like that's actually half of like the actionable advice, is just looking out for this and being aware of it. And not too much of like an overly like, who has the frame? Do I have the, like, listen, you don't have to like win the frame in every interaction, okay? That's actually more creepy than just like, okay, just let someone else have the frame over a little thing like once in a while, right? It's not the end of the world. Little things, right? You gotta check people on the big things, right? But let's continue. How to build and sustain a strong frame, or how to acquire a strong masculine frame, if you like that better. The only way to have true confidence, unless you're a sociopath, is to develop reference experiences. You are on the quest for positive reference experiences. If you are a skydiving instructor, you no longer get nervous from jumping out of a plane because your brain remembers it has so many positive reference experiences that the parachute opened, you landed safely, and you didn't die. Your brain has learned that jumping out of planes is not dangerous. If you have no reference experiences to support a belief, unless you're some type of sociopath, it's going to be very, very hard to have that belief. So there was a great analogy in, I think it was Awaken the Giant Within, a Tony Robbins book. And he made the analogy that like a table. So a table has 4 legs, right? Like a normal dinner table. And the top of the table is a belief, and each of the 4 legs supports that belief. So if you want to have the belief, I'm sexy, I'm attractive, you need to have those 4 pillars. Like without the legs, the table just collapses, right? The table has 4 legs. So the 4 legs could be, women smile and flirt with me. I get a lot of matches on dating apps. Women want to sleep with me on the first date. Most of my approaches go well. I very rarely get harsh blowouts, right? When I talk to people, I generally gain socially acceptance. When guys tool me, I generally do well and pass the shit test. If I get introduced to a mutual friend, that mutual friend generally, really wants to be my friend. It generally like goes well when I meet new people, right? So as we talked about, understanding social dynamics in the first place is a big part of this. So we already talked about shit tests. It's when people test your frame. They have, their belief and you have yours. As long as you don't emotionally react, you have passed the shit test. It is not about always giving the most witty response. If you can give a witty response, if you can tool them back a little bit in a playful way, that's, I suppose, preferred. But as long as you don't, like, one way to pass the shit test is just to ignore it. Again, now if someone's insulting you, if you need to address something, if someone has confronted you, you can't just pretend it didn't happen, right? But you can kind of just someone's hey man, I think you look better without a beard. I go, probably not. That's it. I don't need to go I don't need to consult ChatGPT for a witty response. Just hey man, you should shave your beard. You'd look better. Nah, man. Beard's like makeup for a guy, bro. Beard's like breast implants for a guy, bro. Beard's I don't know, whatever. Just don't, well, you think? I've tried shaving, maybe I'll try. Or no, bro, you're wrong. Right? Practice good communication skills. Okay, so again, what we're talking about, you want to build your confidence. You want to build these reference experiences to have a strong masculine frame, okay? This is what we're talking about. Practice good communication, okay? So some of you watching this video may have good communication, okay? You guys notice that I don't talk super monotone in my videos. I vary the inflections. I vary the pacing. Sometimes I take pauses. I don't just deliver a YouTube video like this, like I'm reading a script, even though I am reading a script, okay? So one thing is your vocal tonality, and there's two exercises that you guys can try, okay? One thing for your vocal tonality is saying the sentence 3 or 4 different ways to put emphasis on a different word and completely change the meaning of a sentence. So the sentence is, I didn't say that we should kill him. I didn't say, that was actually terrible. See, this is where I'm not gonna hold the frame. I kind of squeaked there, right? I fuck up too. We're gonna get to this, right? You want to admit when you kind of like fuck up. If your frame is like too rigid and too strong, it's cringy. Take 2, let me try that again. I didn't say that we should kill him. 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 So I said the same sentence 4 different ways and completely changed the meaning. That's like a vocal tonality exercise. The other thing too is eliminate trying for rapport tonality, which is when your tone goes up. Whenever you want somebody's validation, it's like in most cases with most people, it's not like a bad thing, but it really diminishes attraction with women. And it's just something that even with other guys, you kind of want to avoid. Now, this is something that I promise you and I guarantee you all do in, say, for example, a cold approach situation with a woman or you're on a date. Do you know how I know that you guys do this? Because I will record in-field footage of me picking up girls sometimes. I'll tell you guys how you can get access to this footage. But I will record myself sometimes picking up women, and right before I go into the interaction, I go like, hey, cool. I'm being recorded here. I got to demonstrate good game. I know this is a weakness of mine. I'm going to have no upward sloping rapport. You look so pretty. Hey, you should come over. You should come over sometime. Hey, you should come over sometime. Hey, you should give me your number. We should stay in contact. Hey, we should stay in contact. We should stay in contact. And I go up to her, and what do? I'm still slightly sloping up. And I'm like, fuck, like, I'm the guy who teaches this. I'm being recorded. I'm going to watch this later. And like, as I'm going in, I'm like, okay, whatever you do, just don't slope up your voice. And I still do it. So that's how I know, like, if I'm like consciously doing all this effort to like avoid it, I know that you're doing it too, okay? And the other thing is eye contact. So the 2 main keys of your vibe with women, so it matters a lot what you say. The actual words, some say, it doesn't really matter what you say. No, it matters a lot what you say. The vibe behind it is more important. The way you communicate a good vibe is with your voice and your eye contact. I like to talk really, really quickly when I'm delivering a YouTube video. Around women, I talk more slowly and I pace my voice. And you can go with inflections. You can talk more quickly, slowly sometimes, up, down. I can't believe, what? Like, lower the volume, like vary the volume, and eye contact. So not the trying for rapport tonality, the breaking rapport tonality, or just neutral rapport. Not, sloping up, but just like talking normally, and your eye contact. All right, so that was a lot of theory. Now we're going to talk about how to actually build and sustain a strong frame, how to have frame control, how to have said masculine frame, okay? So one thing that is very, very important not one thing, the only thing that really matters for confidence is developing reference experiences. You are on a quest for reference experiences. So there was a great analogy in Awaken the Giant Within, classic self-help book by Tony Robbins, where he talked about how your beliefs, again, because the person with a stronger sense of reality, the stronger sense of beliefs, boundaries, identity, etc., wins. Now, all your beliefs need to be set up by foundation. So in the book, the Awaken the Giant Within, it had the image of a table, like a normal dinner table. The table is the belief, and each of the legs are the ideas that support that belief. So if you want to have the belief that I'm sexy, without the legs, the table just collapsed. So you need all these supporting pillars. So the supporting pillars of I'm sexy could be women smile and flirt with me. I get a lot of matches on dating apps. Women want to sleep with me on the first date. Most of my approaches tend to go well, right? And we're going to talk about how you get these positive reference experiences, but just know that it's like a skydiving instructor, right? If the first time that you jump out of a plane, you're going to be nervous as hell. But skydiving instructors who have done this time and time, there's guys who've done like thousands upon thousands of jumps. They're not nervous anymore because they have so many reference experiences. Say, okay, when I jump out of planes, I don't die. The parachute inflates every time, and I will survive this, right? And then sometimes they're adrenaline junkies. They have to do more dangerous jumps, and then they ultimately end up dying. Sometimes, not all the time. So that's part of it. That's well, huge part of it is the reference experiences. Another part of it, which we've talked about throughout the video, is just understanding social dynamics in the first place, just being aware of guys when guys are trying to tool you. Be aware when women are testing your frame, having self-awareness and understanding, oh, I got a little bit too emotionally reactive to that. Or maybe this person was just trying to josh me and I took it too personally, right? And then very importantly, understanding when you're being overly apologetic. Some of you if you've ever been called like, oh, you're just a sweet soul, right? You may be overly apologetic. Another big one is practicing your communication in general. I will touch on this quickly because I'm gonna do this in other videos. Two very, very important things are your vocal tonality. When you're talking to women, you don't want to be like this. Very like, oh, we should stay in contact. Can I get your Instagram? Like, what's your number? Hey, can I get your Instagram? Yo, we should stay in contact. Yeah, you should come over. Hey, yeah, come over real quick. Come over real quick. Can you come over? So having that neutral or even slightly breaking rapport tonality and your eye contact, okay? Portraying confidence, your vibe. Like the words you say to a girl matters a lot. Some of these guys on YouTube are like, it doesn't matter what you say at all. It just matters your vibe. Not like what you say matters a lot as well. But the vibe is more important. Like you slow your speech down when you talk to women. You maintain, burning eye contact, but not in a creepy way. You can look away sometimes. It's okay. You're not going to lose the frame. If you're holding eye contact with a girl and you're the first one to look away sometimes, okay, don't give like Hannibal. I see some guys on YouTube, some clowns talking about that. Don't give Hannibal Lecter eye contact like this, right? Look away sometimes. Okay, another one. Learn to control your emotional state and your anxiety. So one thing is practice mindfulness. Understand that your thoughts happen to you. Like you ever like forget something? Like you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts happen to you. You are the observer of your thoughts. So don't identify with certain thoughts. Don't identify with anxiety. The anxiety isn't you. The anxiety is happening to you. It's like if you ever forget something, you're like, oh, I was saying something. What is it? Don't worry. It'll come to me. It will come to me, right? We just proved it. Your thoughts aren't you. Your thoughts come to you. Your anxieties come to you. So just relax, practice mindfulness. Meditation is huge. Again, I'm not going to talk about, I'm not some woo-woo, align your chakras and the blue chakra and the green chakra have to all be aligned. No, it's not that, okay? Meditation actually physically changes your brain. They can see it on a scan. This is irrefutable, okay? The whole Ivy League, Harvard, Yale, they've all studied this. You can see on an actual brain scan, your brain, your prefrontal cortex gets noticeable nanometers thicker. The gray matter in your brain increases. And the amygdala part of your brain, which is the fear response, the fight or flight, the fear response, shrinks. You can noticeably cause physical changes to your brain. You can shrink your amygdala and increase the size of your prefrontal cortex by practicing meditation, okay? And being fully present, when you're fully present and you're not thinking, you can't be overanalyzing. You can't possibly be overthinking because you're just in the present moment. It's like you ever maybe when you play video games or if you're skiing down a mountain or you're just in some type of flow state, you're hitting a bag at the gym, whatever it is, and you're not thinking, your brain is off. You want to seek to be like that in social situations. And then also you want to focus more on your internal validation versus external, meaning you have your own personal goals, and I'm going to get into an example of this, but maybe the external world isn't validating you, but you're validating yourself because hey, maybe you don't have the perfect body yet, but you went to the gym, 5 days this week, or, you approached a girl and you got a harsh rejection, you got a harsh blowout, but you understand hey, at least I did my approach. I'm going to use that example again in a second. Actually, not in a second, right now, learn how to reframe. So in that same example, you could take a harsh blowout means that you approached a girl and she said, ew, get the fuck away from me. You're ugly. Don't talk to me. Ugly guys like you shouldn't approach. Whatever. You get the most harsh rejection, the most harsh blowout on a cold approach. You can take that as I'm creepy. I'm weird. I have a bad vibe. I'm creeping women out. I'm ugly, whatever it is. You can take that, a bad way, or you can reframe it and say, hey, that was a harsh blowout, but at least I tried, because 99% of guys will not have the balls to at least try, okay? Now, some other real world practice is storytelling. When you're with your friends, when you're with your family, when you're on dates, just practice storytelling. If you want to get, one or two, spark notes from this, they're coming up. The first one is storytelling, okay? just practice, because when you tell a story, say you have the dinner with 3 or 4 of your friends, just tell a quick story about anything. Try to make it interesting. Try to make it concise. Try to make the climax and the punchline hit. Work on your timing. And what we're going to talk about more is you're putting yourself in situations where you're learning to take social pressure. Okay. People will kind of like, constantly challenge your frame when you're in situations where the attention is on you. And when you're telling a story to a group of people, they're all looking at you, right? They all stop what they're doing and they're looking. You have to hold court and you improve your social skills that way. If some of you guys have the time and resources to do this and you think you can really benefit from it, an improv comedy class is amazing. For those of you, if you know that you're one of these like hard case newbies, improv comedy is like lifting weights for your social skills, okay? And then the ultimate one is, of course, cold approach pickup, because you will be constantly putting yourself into situations where you will have to deal with social pressure and guys will try to tool you and people will test your frame. Now, a good way to do this is to start small. You can go out, if you're going to go do some cold approaches, start with people that are paid to be nice to you. So you can talk to the waitress, you can talk to people at retail stores. Don't waste too much of their time, but pretend you're going to buy some shirts or ask their advice on, whatever. You can ask people for the time. I don't know, whatever other employees at a kiosk, I don't know, something like that in the mall. Just talk to people and get in a social state and build yourself up to the point where you can like full on just go and direct and start approaching some girls. The next thing too, and you want to be aware of this, okay? Be aware of when you have like a frame leak or when you drop the frame or lose the frame, whatever you want to call it. So dropping the frame happens when you become inconsistent with the narrative that you're projecting. For example, you portray yourself as this kind of James Bond, too cool for school kind of aloof guy, but then you suddenly switch and you become very overly invested in somebody's validation. That will break the frame of you as this cool aloof guy, and that will reduce attraction. So be aware when you're doing that. Okay, recovering from a lost frame. So here's a key. Stay calm under pressure. If your frame is challenged or temporarily lost, regaining control requires emotional composure, okay? Just breathe. It happens. Everybody loses the frame or drops the frame once in a while. It's not the end of the world, okay? Just try not to overreact, laugh it off, become present to the moment. This is why meditation helps. Don't over criticize and just, keep going, okay? Now I want to talk about overcompensating. This is the only thing that is more cringy than a guy who has a super weak frame, a guy that can be slapped around left and right by society, is a guy who is overcompensating by a frame that is too rigid, and some situations require flexibility. Every once in a while, you can take a small L, okay? If I'm recording a video and my voice squeaks or something like that, I can make fun of it, okay? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna stop the video because my voice squeaked or something like that, right? And I wanna give an example of this. One time I was at my friend's house. He had just bought a new MacBook, probably like a $3,000 computer, and he had it set on the couch where, let me see if I can do this on my phone as an example. I don't know how to do it, but like here's the couch and the laptop is like teetering at the edge like this. Like, here's the couch and it's like, if it moves like this, it can like fall, right? Like boom, and like laptop falls, right? And I just, out of nowhere, we're just talking, I take his laptop and I just kind of and move it back on the couch where it won't fall. He had this funny accent. He was from Armenia? Where was he from? We called him David Dubai, but anyway, because he also lived in Dubai. But he'd say, "No, man, what are you doing? Why'd you touch my laptop?" Oh, bro, I just I thought it would fall. Like it was kind of scaring me. It was like leaning over. No, man, no. I put my laptop there. I know how to think. Like put it back how you found it. I'm like, bro, okay, but it could fall, man. It's like 30, 60%, or sorry, 30, 40%. It's like a seesaw, bro. Like it's almost falling. Like it's like, no, man, don't touch my stuff like that. I was like, bro, like for me, bro, for me, can you just let me put your laptop in a place where it won't fall? No, man. And I'm like, okay. And I put his laptop back at the edge. This is an example of where his maintaining the frame is he knows where the laptop goes and no one should touch his stuff. That's one of these, not even super rare, I'll say rare-ish, one of these instances where being too rigid and holding the frame for too long, or holding it like holding onto the frame too tightly and not letting it go, actually lowers your value tremendously. Actually, when you talk about, losing the frame and stuff like that in a social interaction, dropping the frame once in a while when you shouldn't have, like, you let like a little insult pass, or someone said something to you, and you kind of like overreacted a little bit, or took a little bit too personally, but like to a small degree, that's way less harmful. That's going to lower your value way, way less, that you gave up the frame on a little thing, than holding on to it too tightly. As a matter of fact, what I see with a lot of my students that I help in person, I mostly focus on building a really high status social media. I focus more on like the lead generation aspect of meeting women, like just making you an absolute rock star on social media, appearing super, super high status, how you can contact a shitload of women, automate the whole thing, online dating virtual assistants. I'm actually trying something new here. So if you like this format where I'm not talking about like the lead generation aspect of women, like how to get more leads, how to get more dates, but actually how to behave with women and in social interactions once you're in the social interaction with the woman, let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this. I'm super curious, because again, traditionally I just talked more about the lead generation stuff. But when I have people in person, I'm doing photo shoots and I'm building them these super amazing high status looking social medias. Sometimes these topics come up. They ask me, hey, how can I improve my vibe and blah, 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 frame control, this stuff like that. And I typically, some guys are the majority of my clients are already really cool. They're already getting laid. They just want, even better results, even better social media. And they understand that like, this is like the way of the world, things are evolving. But for the guys who need a lot of help with their vibe that aren't like already super cool and calibrated, I see usually one extreme or the other. One guy is like just completely a leaf in the wind, has, no confidence, very, very weak frame, just, zero sense of identity, confidence at all. And then this is like much, much worse. The guy who's like holding onto his frame, he just can't like let any like little thing go. That's actually a lot more cringe than the guy who will let a little thing go. Now, as we already discussed throughout the video, frame control is an essential tool in social dynamics, ensuring that you remain in control of interactions while projecting confidence and status. Having self-awareness and awareness of what's going on in social situations are fundamentals to building a strong frame. So self-awareness of you, understanding how you're responding to things, how you respond to people, how your internal state changes, and just being aware of social interactions in general. Like, who's typically speaking the loudest typically has the strongest frame, who has the attention, little frame battles that are going on when people try to test you, etc. In addition to this awareness, you can build a strong frame by actively working on your social skills and putting yourself in situations where your social skills may be tested and you will have to take social pressure, okay? These include things like storytelling, improv comedy, and the king, cold approach pickup. You can also practice your vocal tonality and your eye contact, as we talked about, and meditation will literally change the structure of your brain, okay? Maintaining a strong frame requires practice, inner confidence, and the ability to pivot when faced with challenges, but it ensures long-term success and a high status perception. And again, little frame drops here and there, you lose the frame, you drop the frame, whatever you want to call it. Not the end of the world, especially for little things. The girl or whoever may not even notice in the grand scheme of things when your frame is overall strong. Just do not be that guy with the super overly cringe social media. I talked about how you can see some infield footage of me throughout the video. I'm not sure. I think I'll put it on my school community. If I put it on YouTube, it's like a risk of getting banned. I also have a lot of other free courses in my school community. It's like SKOOL. Some of you guys know this platform, but there's a link in the bio to get into my free community. It's a lot more free trainings. As of now is the time of me making this. These free trainings focus more on the lead generation aspect of women, but I'm going to be talking a lot more about this social dynamics stuff, most of which comes from one of my earliest mentor in game and a good personal friend of mine, RSD Tyler, aka Owen Cook. And like I said, if you like these types of videos where I talk about social dynamics, let me know. If you want me to just, stay in my lane and do more travel videos, more vlogs, show off more girls, whatever, and talk more about the lead generation aspect on social media, Also, let me know because I'm trying a new format, and I hope you enjoyed. Peace out, guys.